Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, guys. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Carlis. Welcome, Carlis. Welcome. We'll get started shortly.
Hello.
Hello. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Bill. Welcome, Bill. Welcome. Hello. We'll get started shortly. We'll get started shortly, guys. This evening is advanced strategies. All right, so we'll get started shortly. Hey, Kawisi, welcome. Welcome, Kawisi. We'll get started shortly. Hey, Gerald, welcome, Gerald. Hey, Stella, welcome, Stella. Guys, we'll get started shortly. So, advanced strategies, tips, and secrets. Okay, we'll get started shortly. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. All right. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so you guys should see my trading screen here. All right. So it's been a busy week in the markets. Um, does anyone did now? I know when we go through this on Fridays, so we'll look at areas to improve our trading. But did anyone have any learn anything new this week in your trading? Um, did you have any aha moments with your trading? Anyone? Anyone? Did you guys learn anything new?
Yeah, I did. Stay with the trade. I got it. I saw it again this morning. I'm not gonna lie.
uh, it's one of those things, right, Bill? It's
So, David, what I really learned this week is to just leave the RSI on and just watch that, because you're right. It just follows a trend. If it's overbought or oversold, it's gonna move. And yeah, I really learned that this week.
was that with dollar CAD?
Yeah, yeah, and I've been checking out with a lot of things that moved, but with a lot of Canadian pairs, and you're right. When it moves, when it's overbought or oversold, it will move in the opposite direction eventually.
Okay, so you mean it will, let's put it on and I'm glad you mentioned that. Kind of wanted to talk about this. Okay, so let's pull up on RSI. I don't like leaving the RSI on all the time because there are times when it will flash, overbought, and then the price will continue to move higher. So Bill, you're saying here where it was overbought and then it came back to that moving average.
Right, it pulled back, and then the RSI dipped down.
Right here.
Yep, and then it continued to the seller or the buyers continued to move up
Move up.
to
Yeah.
buy.
Yeah. And then you got this is what forced you, was it this candle that forced you out of the trade?
Yeah, it was white when that big long one, it was white, and it stayed white on my screen for quite a while. I thought we were gonna start seeing some selling.
Oh, okay. I messed up the chart. Hold on. Let me bring it back. Let's see here. All right. So so it was this candle here, this candle right here. And yeah, it probably got white all the way down here to the tip of that wick right here. But then it pulled back and it actually closed the green, right? Actually closed green, not white.
Right.
And I remember we talking about this, right? So and then you closed the trade.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. And when I closed the trade, I was still happy with the way it ran. I had a good position, and I held it for a couple of days. I got in really close to the buy signal. So I wasn't unhappy, but of course, now look, it's gone up quite a bit in the last day and a half.
Yeah. And I remember telling you that basically the fact that you got out of it, you were out of it, right? I remember saying, hey, stay with it, because once you because for you this trade is over, right? And
Yeah, I didn't try to get back in.
yeah, and that's the when we take these trades, and we've all do it, we all do it, we've all done it. It's difficult to stay in, but it's also when I would say when we get forced forced out of the trade, right? You guys know the whipsaw song, right? The whipsaw song, right? So when we get forced out of the trade, this is what's painful, right? To watch it, you know. And sometimes I don't know why this happens. Sometimes when we get forced out of the trades like this, these are the ones that really take off, right? And will go on to be one of the biggest trades, and we're sitting on the sidelines. Okay. But yes, that I will go over that, right? So we'll spend a little time on the RSI. When it gets overbought, how to manage yourself. Is really you're managing all that emotions, right? All those emotions is what you have to control. So you're not really controlling the trade. This trade here is nothing to control. I mean, it's, if you look at it now, it's a very simple trade, right? Right, Bill? But
yeah, and it went in the direction that you predicted the other night.
yeah, but it's a very, I mean, it's after the fact, it's easy to see, right? But when we in it, boy, it gets difficult. I mean, Charity had the same situation with USD MXN, so the Mexican peso, where it pulled back. I mean, this is a big pullback, right? Back to that moving average. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So the moving average. All right. And how that all plays. All right. Because I don't think everyone was on that call when we talked about this. All right. Yeah, so Charity had a similar situation here with USD MXN. Stellar had a situation with her pair dollar Swiss that just totally, right, totally broke down, right? Riding up nicely. Go ahead, Jared, Stella.
No, I mean, that was my lesson, like when you said like stay with the trade and like what have we learned? I was in 4 or 5 different trades. And this was my best trade. This one was doing the best. And I was feeling like I should have put all my money here. And like, why did I spread it out? And I think that was my lesson. I was so glad I had, because I'm still in the US CAD. So I'm still in, I think, PLN and NOK. So those are still going. So I was glad. So diversification, I was a big lesson for me this week.
Yeah, I remember I had no idea that that happened, right? Because they were moving up nicely. We only had, I think, 2 pairs that had closed, and Carlis had one that closed also. Carlis had USD. Carlis, which one did you have?
CNH, yeah.
Yeah, so yours, so check this out, guys. So check this out. So Carlis had USD CNH. All right, USD CNH. And I was surprised because Carlis contacted me that it had closed. And then I put it, I was like, oh, usually I'm on top of these trades. But yeah, the dollar pairs were moving so well. The dollar index had pulled back a bit, just a little bit. But so you got out of your trade pretty quick, right? I mean, compared to the others, you got out pretty quick, right here on this sell signal. And then Stellar's trade, what happened here with the dollar Swiss was totally out of left field, right? Hey, Brian, welcome.
And it happened
yeah.
with all the Swiss pairs. So like Euro Swiss,
Yes.
Swiss JPY, like all of them just had that 2 candles that tanked.
Yeah. Yeah. So there might have been some news, or something happened with the Swiss where they just broke down. So if you look at pound Swiss up here, so pound Swiss, New Zealand Swiss, all right, Euro Swiss. I mean, look at that. So, although the dollar pairs were moving nicely, right? When I saw this, when I heard from Stella, I looked at the other pairs and I thought, okay, well, so the thing about it is that we can do everything right, and then especially in Forex, right, and in any of the markets, right, this can happen, right? So, but guess what? We close the trade and we move on. And yeah, having being in other pairs, right? It's, if something goes just, and this doesn't happen a lot, but it will happen. I mean, usually the pairs go together, right? But sometimes this will happen. All right. But we just get out. What we have to understand is that it's just part of trading, right? It's just part of trading, and it's nothing that we've done wrong. All right. Nothing that we've done wrong. So, but Stella, I was really proud of Stella because you stayed in the trade. This was perhaps the first time, Stella, where you really stayed in the trades, right?
Yep. Yeah, I've only closed like 2 of the 5 trades. I'm looking at closing PLN.
Okay.
Thinking maybe I'll close that one, USD PLN. But
it?
NOK and SCAD are fine.
Okay. So USD PLN. Okay. So you will, now let's talk about this. So you're looking to close it because of what?
Because I'm looking at it on the 15-minute, and it's just like going lower and lower and lower. So.
All right. Okay. So,
trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, I know. So get rid of that 15-minute. Just,
it's not looking good.
Okay, you guys know the Whipsaw song, right? What does Ed Sakota say about the
doesn't have any issues, although he does have a prior.
So what does he say about the news? You're gonna what? Throw it in the what?
Trash can.
Throw it in the trash, right? So throw that 15-minute in the trash. Okay, Stella. Throw it in the trash. Don't look at it. That's just noise. That's like noise. That's like news. Okay.
All right, I'll hang in there.
All right. Did you close it out?
No.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, throw it away.
Now that you said not to.
Yeah, throw that 15-minute. Let's stay with the 240.
Okay.
All right. So so Charity had a similar situation. All right. So Charity had a similar situation here. So if you look at you look at yours here, PNL. Let me write this, otherwise I'll forget. USD PLN MXN. Okay, so let's take a look at USD PLN. Okay, it's because we want to learn from this, right? Because with bills, right, dollar CAD, right, he got out of it. Now it was about right in here, right, that he got out. And look what happened. There's no guarantee that you will have that follow through like this, right? But that's what we want, right? And until we get confirmation, right, that the price is closing, right, the trade is closing, that's when we want to get out. Now, your dollar Swiss, perfect. Sellers came in, red candle, sell signal, right? I think when you contacted me, it was probably down right here, right about here. All right, get out, it's done. All right, when we have situations like this, all right, then let's talk about, all right, and this is for everyone, okay, because this will happen. This will happen. All right, so, and it happens a lot. All right, and we know we really make money when we stay in these trades. All right, especially on the 240. All right, because we really want to capture as you know, I would say 80–90% of the trades is what we want to do. All right, so right here, this right here, these white candles here, right at support. All right, that's gonna get you right here. All right, so that's what's gonna get you right there. This when that price pulls back, and this is what Bill was saying, right? That RSI. So what happens is this: that RSI right here is really flashing overbought, right? So your trade is gonna really make a high, really get overbought. Okay, all right. Understand that when it gets really overbought like this, the RSI is really going to turn red. It's really overbought. So you are going to get a pullback. All right. You guys are going to get a pullback. So when that price goes up, really pushes high like that, right? Then you can bring out your RSI. I don't like keeping your RSI on the chart or just on your screen like this. But when it pushes really high, right, it expect a pullback, and you're generally going to get a pullback back to that moving average. All right. So if you look here, all right. So if you guys look here, there's a lot of space here. Look at all of that space. All of that space between the price and the moving average. There's a lot of space. All right. Whenever we get space like this and the price gets far away, right? I would say here's your price here. Here is the green moving average right here. That's a lot of space. Whenever it gets like that, look here, right? You're gonna get overbought, right? You're gonna get really overbought. Okay, really overbought. Price is away from that moving average. You guys see that?
I see.
Okay, so what anticipate when that happens? When that happens, you're gonna get really overbought. Always anticipate a pullback. Okay, so rather than being fearful when the price gets really overextended like this, it's part of it, is what the price does. As a matter of fact, it's really good, right? Because, you know, price is making higher highs, higher lows. That's what we want. All right, but we know it's not going to go up forever. Okay, so it's like a rubber band. That moving average is gonna pull that price back, right? So price is gonna get back to that moving average right here before it can move up again. Okay, it has to come back to that moving average before we have new buyers come back in. All right, that moving average is generally going to coincide with a support line. So you're going to get support right there at that moving average. So rather than getting out, right, we should be getting ready. All right, so Stella, rather than looking at exiting right here, you should be getting excited. Forget about the P&L, that pullback here. Forget about
Okay.
that. All right, the
Okay.
negative P&L. All right, what we should be doing, it's going to happen. And we'll look at some examples where this happens a lot. All right, and it happened with Charity also, with USD MXN. Okay, so price is gonna move higher, and it happened with Bill. All right, so price is gonna move high, it's gonna get extended. That's what we want. And usually, if we're lucky, right, we entered in and it does this rather than pulling back, you know, kind of does this here and then take off, right? Right, we'll take either or, right? But we got lucky. Hey, Zaire, welcome. So we got lucky, right? Bought here, put big push. All right. So when this happens, when you get that big push, stay with it, stay with it. But know that it's gonna pull back to that moving average. That's why these moving average are designed like this. Right. We had another trader, we had talked about 200-day moving average, 50-day moving. We don't use wide moving averages like that. We want to stay close to the price. All right. So what you guys want to do, anticipate that pullback. You can bring out your RSI to see whether or not you overbought. You will know based on the price, right? The way the price is moving, you guys will know that it's overbought. So you don't have to bring it out, the RSI, but you can. All right. But the important thing here is this. And this is when you guys get really good and you really start seeing your trading, things become a lot easier, right? But guess what? You really start to capitalize on the trades. So right here is your support right here. It made a high right here, and now it pulled back to the moving average right here, and we have our support line right here. Okay. Your job when this happens, close your phone, don't look at your P&L, just watch the trade, right? And what we want to do is, there are a couple of things that we want to do here. A white candle, you'll usually go from green candles to a white candle. That's somewhat neutral, all right? And what you're hoping for is that that next candle is a green candle. All right, so you're watching. When it closes, like Bill, you know, you were watching it. It went from white in the middle of the, while that candle is still, right, still on, right? You watched it go from white to green, but then it closed green. There's nothing to do. If it closes green, there's absolutely nothing to do. In this case, it closed white. Now you pay attention. All right. So we pay attention, right? It closed white. Then we need the second candle. If the second candle closes green, that means we've got buyers are back in, they're buying again. All right. You can do a couple of things. You can add a second position here. All right. You can add a second position here. This is a great area to buy. It's an amazing area to buy. All right. And Charity actually did that. All right. With USD MXN. And we'll go over that. Okay. So this is an amazing. So rather than being scared, I say scared out of the trade, we need to get ready, right, to put on, to get even more aggressive. Now it is an aggressive move. All right, because you enter in near seller's territory, because you enter in near support. Because what could happen is this, right? And we see it also where it goes from a white candle to a red candle down here, and now we are forced out of the trade, right? So now we have to get out here, right? We know that. right? We know after a white candle, kind of like here, right? White candles, we can get another red candle, and now guess what? Sellers are coming in, broke support, sellers are coming in, and we're doing something like this all the way down. All right, but we can't be afraid of this. All right, because the opposite can happen also. All right, the opposite can happen, which means that we could get a green candle here, right? A green candle here, and now the price can do this right here. All right, so this is a great opportunity to watch it. So watch it, Stella, watch it. Don't close the trade. And a few pips, guys, is not going to make a difference. So keep in mind, right? 10, 20, 30, even 40, 50 pips, it's not going to make a difference, right? Because you're still learning this, right? And you're fine tuning your process. All right. So yes, I know we want to make those pips, but we also want to really maximize our trades. So look here.
So David, I got a quick question. This is Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, so right there at that white candle, some more confirmation, I guess, would be safe to say if we went down to a 30-minute chart or a 60-minute chart and waited on a blue signal for one of those confirmations and then entered in?
Yeah, I mean, you can do that. I mean, you know, Brian, you've been trading a lot longer with the system, right? Yes, but for new traders, for most traders, I would rather stay on this chart on the 240. Okay. It's a cleaner, because what a lot of times, what traders will do a lot of times is once you go, like Stella is looking at that her 15-minute, right? Her 15-minute. So what happens a lot is that once we do that, we getting off our trading window and we go into a different trading window. Can you do that? Yes. It actually makes the trade more complicated. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're right, Brian. You can absolutely do that, right? But I would say if you've been trading the system for a long time and you really know how everything flows, you can absolutely do that. But I want to show you guys how you can do it. And Brian, even with you've been trading with us for a long time, even this might help too, because it just makes the trade. It makes for a much cleaner trade. Okay.
I like what you just said. I mean, instead of going to those smaller charts, just wait on that green candle to close. And I think that's more, to me now, that's more conservative, because that is aggressive when I go down to 30 minutes or 60 minutes and get in, because I've got trapped or got caught like that before. Yeah. And it goes down and I get caught on those pips. So now it makes sense what you just said, because that's a 4-hour close versus a 30-minute or 60-hour close. Yeah. Of a 60-minute close. I'm sorry. Yeah. So it makes sense. All right.
Yeah. And so so this is what Charity did on USD MXN. So let's see here. And I'm very proud of her for doing that, because we had talked about it, and that evening we talked about it. This is where we were right here with her trade. Let's see here. So so Charity entered, I think, right about here, and just like Bill, right? Just like Bill's trade, right? It got really overbought, right? We see here, right? It's overbought, pull back, and this is when this happens, we know that we see this in our P&L, right? And this is scary. I mean, these big candles, they're really, really scary. And that's why we want to go through this so that it doesn't become scary anymore, right? I know Stella has some difficulty. We all have difficulties with this because it really gets to, you know, our emotions, right? So, but if we work this out, it's really nice. So this is, and we talked about this the night before. So here is Stella's trade. I mean, Charity's trade. And guess what? She had a white candle right here. And what we talked about is this, and this was her current candle, and it was white. And what we talked about is this, right? I said, watch it, okay? And if it closes green, right? If it closes red, you've got to get out. Don't even wait. Don't even wait for your sell signal. Closes red, sellers are coming in, get out. Kind of like here, right? However, if you get a green candle, that means buyers are coming back in, then you can add to your position, right? So her first entry was here, and guess what she did? She stayed with it, waited for this candle here to turn green, and then when it closed green, she bought in here, right? And then look what happened, right? Look what happened, right? Buyers really came in. All right, buyers really came in, almost brought it all the way back up to resistance. All right, and then we spoke again today, and guess what? She's got white candles here again today. And Charity, are you still in?
Yeah, I'm still in.
You're still in, okay.
Waiting for that like green candle to give me another buy signal.
Very good. So she's in, still in, and she's going to wait for, and she's got, as long as you have white candles, guys, you're good. Red candle, just get out of there, right? If she gets another green candle right here, hold on. If she gets another green candle right here, right? So this is today. If Sunday the markets open up, she gets a green candle right here, she can actually add to her position. All right, so she bought here. This was her first position here, right? Second position, check this out. All right, and guess what? If it opens up green, and I would say wait for it to close green. No, it's a forward time frame, so you have to wait 4 hours. But we make money being patient. All right, so let's say it closes on Sunday right here, green. She can add another position, so a third position to her trade. And I love doing this on the 4 hour because you've got time. You've got plenty of time to do this. So let's say it opens up green, right? We're still in the markup phase, right? We're still in the markup phase. Opens up green, closes green. She adds a third position here. And guess what? If we continue to move higher, test that resistance, right? You know what happens when we get that near that resistance, we get a big pop to the upside. Guess what? Now she's got 3 positions, 3 really nice positions, positioned really well. All right, and then she could even add a 4th position here, okay, on a break of this resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4 positions working for her, right? Rather than just 1 position here, right? Rather than being scared out of the trade here, guess what? She hung in there, and guess what? She will get rewarded for being patient. All right. Now, if you guys look here, nothing has changed. So if I just made this right here green, if I just made this here green, all right, if I just make this here green, let's do this. Let's use green. All right, check this out. Because it's all, these markets will play tricks on us, right? So that's green. That's green. All right, check this out. All right, check this out. We're gonna get rid of that support line right here. Let's get rid of this. Oh, I got rid of the whole thing. But you guys see what I'm saying, right? Sometimes it's better to have just an empty screen. All right. All right. Let me do this again. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I want you guys to just look at the price. All right, look at the price. All right, we're in the markup phase. And there's nothing to do. All right. Who is in control of price? Buyers or sellers?
Buyers.
Buyers are in control. All right, buyers are in control. A lot of times our minds will play tricks on us, right? Our accounts, right? Our P&L really plays a lot of tricks on us. Okay. So what we want to do is, use this information, right? I love when I see these candles right here, these white candles, I get really excited. And that's what I want you guys to do. When you get these white candles, think of it as you getting a discounted price, right? You're getting a discounted price, okay? When we're in the markup phase, when we're in the markup phase, let me do this. Hold on. Okay, hold on. When we are in the markup phase, that's our chance to make money. All right. So when we're in the markup phase right here, all right, you guys should see the four market phases, the markup phase. All right. This is our chance, right? When we, so we're constantly testing. When we get a break of resistance, right? When we get a break of resistance, right? So when we get a break of resistance, we get that buy signal. That's the beginning of our work. That's when the work starts, right? Our job is to get as much of the trade as possible in that markup phase. All right. Our job is to capture as much of the trade in that markup phase. We know we'll never get the very bottom. we'll never get the very top, right? But that middle part is what we want, the meat of the trade. Okay, so here, so always anticipate that reaccumulation phase. That reaccumulation phase, okay, for Stellar, it's right down here. That's that white candle right down here. For Charity, it's that white candle right down here. All right, and you guys will have two opportunities to
Your screen didn't change. Your screen didn't change.
It didn't change. Hold on.
See it on my end.
Hold on. How about now?
No.
No?
Still showing 4 market phases. Yeah.
You don't see the 4 market phases?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, yeah. That's what it should be. It should be the 4 market phases.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yes, I'm just giving an example here. So for Stellar's trade, right? USD PLN. Okay. So if we look at it, if we take her trade, all right. So she entered right here, and now it's right here near support. Here is the moving average right here. So it's right along that moving average. All right. And it made a high. Okay, follow me. It made a high right here. That RSI is kind of like this right here. It's high on the RSI. It made a high here, right? Created some resistance up here. It pulled back. So it pulled back to right here, right? So she's got a white candle right here, right? And Stella's thinking, okay, I should get out here. But guess what could happen? Just like Bill's trade, right? It can continue moving higher. Okay, so it's gonna pull back to that moving average, right? You're gonna get support right here. Right here is a major opportunity to buy. And this is what I want you guys to start thinking about. So rather than being afraid of the trade, really be anticipating this, looking for it. I actually rooting for the pullback so you can get a cheaper price here. Understand, there are 2 areas we could get in, right? And add during that reaccumulation phase. We know that reaccumulation phase, we've got new buyers. So we've got new buyers coming in. All right, we've got new buyers coming in, guys. This whole area here, we've got new buyers coming in to push our initial trade higher, but even here to get in so that we can add it to our position. There are 2 areas we can do that. We can do it here and we can do it here. From here to here could be 80 pips. Or could be 50 pips. Where would you guys rather add? Here, if you're going to scale up, or here? I'm going to ask you guys, where would you rather add to your position? Here?
Right there.
Right here or here?
First one.
The first one right here. Okay, I would rather add right here. If you add here, guess what? It's less risky, right? But guess what? You're going to leave some pips on the table. If you add here, it's more aggressive, okay? If you know what you're doing and if you keep your cool, okay? But boy, you're really grabbing some pips. And as a matter of fact, you can even add here based on how the price is breaking this resistance, you can add again here. All right, so the goal is this. If you guys did this right here, if you just bought here, sold here, right, you would have done well, right? Go home. We had a good day. We had a good week. We had a good month. But that's not why we're here, right? This is an advanced class, right? So yeah, we can buy here, get out here. We get the meat of the trade. Let's do this, right? We get the meat of the trade. We're done, right? Go home. Everything is cool, right? So let's do this. All right, so right here, you guys should see trend following, right? Trend following, hold on. And I won't keep you guys too much longer. All right. So here, the meat of the trade, okay? So guess what? We can buy here, get out here. We get the meat of the trade, right? And we're good. This is easy, right? We should be able to do this, right? No big deal. So let's say we got 1,000 units for new traders, right? For experienced traders, we do 10,000 units and higher, right? That's good. But guess what? We want more, right? We want more. And the way we get more is by doing this. First of all, staying cool and calm, all right? And understand that we're in that markup phase, right? We're in that markup phase. There is nothing to do, right? Well, there's work to do. Let's see here. All right. Okay, so here we are in that markup phase, markup phase, markup phase, markup phase, markup phase. Sellers are not in. So this is our playground. Okay, we are not in the distribution phase. We are not in the markdown phase. All right. Right. We're not in this area right here. We're in the markup phase. This is our playground. This is our playground. And this is where we buy. Right? This is where we buy. So I want you guys to think differently, not sell. We don't want to sell. We don't want to get out. That trade has to literally force us out like it did for Stellar, right? Right? It has to, sellers have to come in and say, we are absolutely done for us to get out, like her Swiss trade. Okay, so on her Swiss trade, it basically has to, it has to force you in that markup phase. It has to force you out of the trade for you guys to get out. And that's the way I want you guys to think of it. It has to literally push you out of that trade where you don't even have a choice. All right, so where is her Swiss trade? So her Swiss trade is right here. All right, sellers came in, right? Here it is in the markup phase, right? Here it is in the markup phase right here, pretty smooth right here, but here sellers came in pretty strong. We want them to force us out of the trade in order to get out. Otherwise, we add in. Otherwise, we add in every time it pulls to that moving average. Down to that moving average, we add in. When it gets to that, when it breaks resistance, we add in. Okay? When we break resistance, we add in. So back to Charity's trade, and I'll end shortly here. Okay, USD.
Hey, David, I got it, David.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go back? Can you go back to that trade?
Which one? This one?
The one you just said. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So do you, when you see something like this, do you take into account that it's a double top is getting ready to be created, and because of that, pretty much, more times than not, the market usually reverses when the double top occurs. Because be honest with you, if that was me personally that trade, I would have really been watching that trade to say, okay, I see a double top coming up. Even though, I still trust the signals and all that, I'm just thinking about basic chart pattern law, just basic chart pattern law. You see a double top, that you know that's going to reverse pretty much. If you see a double bottom, you know that's going to reverse. So if you go out to a daily screen, you see a double top is already formed, obviously, but it would have been forming a double top for me, and I got to break this habit. I think so. You can't make, you kind of share with me what you think, but I got to break this habit and kind of wait on the signal. But I personally probably would have got out of that before this training call. I probably would have got out of that knowing that it's coming to a double top. And I'm just thinking in my mind, just basic, chart pattern law, I'm getting out. I don't care what the system say, I'm getting out because I just know that's in the reverse. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so yes, so you can always look at double tops, double bottoms, all of that, right? There's a lot of stuff that we can look at. Okay, what I think, what I do, right? So let's say I'm in this trade right here, USD Swiss. All right, and I'm in the markup phase, right? And I've got green candles, and guess what? I didn't catch this one. I didn't trade it. Stella was in it, and she'd call me, and she, and then I looked at it. And I think when Stella contacted me, Stella, the price was about right here, right? Was that right? When did you get out of it? You remember what you got? I know you didn't get out down here. You got out about right in this area right here, right? A little bit after the sell signal, Stella. All right, I don't think, okay. I know she's here, but all right. So I know she got out right about here. So if I was in it, Brian, right, and I'm watching it, so like I said, watch for this white. So this candle turned white, right? It turned white first before it turned red. All right, actually it was green. So it was green up here while it's still in, right? Green, then white, then red. If I saw this candle turning red and I'm seeing this move right here, yeah, I would get out, right? I know I wouldn't get out up here. I would be watching it. Okay, but remember, I would get in down here, right? So I would still have some profits. Would I wait for it to close? Let's see here. Probably not. I absolutely wouldn't wait for it to get out here. I know it gave a sell signal on the close of this candle. This candle closed right here. All right, so here was this candle here that it closed, but this is where it gave the sell signal to get out. So look here for a second. So right here, so here is the candle. All right, so on this candle, see the arrow right here, white arrow right here, but this is where it gave the sell signal. The sell signal came right here, this triangle right here to exit. Okay, so bought here, sold here. Okay, right? This is a good trade, but guess what? If you're working, right? Let's say you're working, you're not watching it. Right now, Brian, you've got your alert set up, so you would have gotten an email alert, right? Right here.
Yeah, but it depends on the time. Like if it's, let's say that trade went to the top up there at the resistance where that white sell signal is, and if that's, let's say that's midnight, I'm sleepy. So this is what I would do. I said, okay, it didn't create a new high. It didn't create a new high. Okay, it stopped pretty much right there where it's going to double top at. So I'm sleepy. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I need to have an exit because I wouldn't want to wake up in the morning and this thing be way down there, because I've had that happen. So I would just kind of come down at the right next to the white sell signal, that green bar, that longest green bar, and just kind of go up, straight up, go straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, straight up, right there. Stop. Go back. No, go back. Go back. Go back. Go down a little bit. I'm sorry. Go down. No.
Go down.
Down below the white. Yeah, about right there. But go up a little bit to the right. To the right. To your right. Yeah, right there. That green candle there, I would have put my stop right below that. Just so I can sleep in peace, man. It's just some things I do. Now, I've done that, and the trade went against me just like this. I've had this happen, obviously, but I've also done that, and it didn't hit me, and it kept going up. That's just something I do because, you know, in the past, you know, I'd wake up and that thing be way down there. I'd be done lost all my profit on a 4-hour chart. And for me, that's just been hard to stomach.
Yeah. So yes, you can. Yeah. So you can always do that, right? Now, so if you guys want to put a protective stop, and I know, Brian, you do that, this is what I would do. All right. I wouldn't just randomly do it. All right. So we know that our, like in this case, we don't have, this is not a very good example because we do not have we don't have a support line by the system. Okay. We don't have a support line. But so let's go back to Stella's trade. So USD CHF. All right. So she is concerned. Oh, it is this trade. Wait a second here. What did we do? Oh, her other trade, the PLN, USD PLN, USD PLN. All right. So Brian, this is a better example here. All right. So similar, right? Made a high, made a high, made a high here, made a high here. All right. And she is concerned about this trade, right? Because look what it did before, right? Look what it did before, right? Made a high, right? It has tough resistance right here. So look here, right? It's got tough resistance, right? So you got resistance right here, right? So now I tell traders, hey, just, you know, stay close to it, watch it, don't live it. Even if you have to, you know, stay up, get some coffee, right? Stay with it, right? Stay with it. But yes, this is what you can do. All right. So let's say, for instance, we're watching it here. This is an awesome example because we have a support line here. So we know it's holding support right here, right? We've got clear support right here, right? We've got the candles holding support. We have a white candle, and then we have another white candle developing. So right here, it can go either way. It can go either way. All right. So if you're going to, Brian, you could do this, right? And you're absolutely right, right? If you're not going to stay up, if you're not going to watch it, right? If you've got to work, right? Go ahead and put a stop. I would put a stop below here. All right. So put it below your support, anywhere in here, down below. Don't put it in here. That's still in within your trading range, right? Trading window, right? So put it below, right? If you just want to make sure that you stay in the trade, the idea is we want to stay in this trade. We don't want to get kicked out of it. All right. So you could go even a lower here and you say, okay, if it hits this moving average right here, all right. So that's at 4.43 right here. Put your stop right here. And guess what? you're still safe. So even if it, and you know, they will do this a lot. Look, they did it here. They pushed the price down, right? Got all these traders out, right? And then they brought the price back up. All right. So yes, you're right. We don't want to stay in it. And then, you know, it gives a sell signal to get out like this, right? Kind of like this. And then, you know, we wake up. I mean, this is the forward time frame. So, you know, you've got some time, but the candles can move pretty fast, as we saw with the Swiss here. Yeah. So absolutely, you can put a stop loss. Just make sure that you're not playing with your stop loss in that area right in here. Give it some room. All right, because they can push the price down like this, and then guess what? Here we go off to the races, and now we're not in the trade. All right.
And a lot of times it comes deep into that second moving average, that red moving average.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, and then go back up.
And then go back up. Yeah. So so absolutely you can do that, but just give it room. Right. So here is support here. You might have to go to this support here. You might have to go all the way below here. Guess what? If you bought here, if you bought anywhere in here, and you give it enough room with the stop, that's still a good trade, right? That's still a good trade. And you're giving it a lot of room, right? And then guess what? Let's say you wake up, it's got a red candle, right? And it's up in this area right here. You don't have to wait for that stop. Go ahead and get out. And the system might even give you a sell signal to get out up here. But that's your protective stop all the way down here. Or worst case scenario. Yeah, good job. Brian, we need you on these calls more often. That's why you.
Yeah, I'm working on it, man. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm here. I'm gonna do my best to get on more. I am.
Yeah, because you know these guys can learn so much from you. You know, they can learn so much from you. Like little stuff like this, we don't talk about it a lot, and I know you do this stuff. And you've been using the system for a long time. So especially on these advanced classes, right? You guys can learn so much from Brian, all right? So much from Brian, all right? All right, guys, any questions? Any questions? Any questions on this? I know we spent some time on this, okay? But just try during the week, and I know you guys are working things out, okay? And you guys are making amazing progress, right? Bill kind of worked through things. Is Bill still here? All right. Stella worked through things. Charity, I know you're working things out. All right. So everyone, call us. All right. Just keep working things out. I think right here, I think we will get, this is the dollar index, right? So it pulled back a bit, but this on a monthly time frame, still holding way above resistance. All right. So I think we will get some buying coming in on Sunday. All right. So I think we should see a move even higher. Just try to hold on with the positions. We are seeing a move in the yen pairs, right? We are seeing a move, but not a major move yet. We'll watch it.
David.
Yes, here's Zaire.
Yeah, hey David. The Euro JPY, is it? What do you see on the H4, the 240?
The 240, they're setting up.
They're setting up, right?
Yeah, they're setting up. They're setting up. We saw some nice moves in the pairs, in the yen pairs yesterday, and then we saw some follow through. There is one in particular that's really taken off. Let me see if I can find it here. Here, Swiss yen, and that's part of that Swiss group, so that's why. But we need more of the pairs, and I wouldn't get on this one yet. All right, but they are setting up. All right, they're starting to set up. So we'll look for a new run. We know we are early, right? But they are setting up, and hopefully we can get another run like this with the yen pairs. So a lot of good action with the dollar pairs and the yen pairs. They're going back and forth. They're going back and forth, back and forth. All right. So we could see where the dollar pulls back. If the dollar pulls back a bit, right? If the dollar pulls back a bit next week, we can see where the dollar pairs are closing, right? And then the yen pairs are taking off again. All right. So I'm glad you're watching it, Zayed, early, but yeah, they are definitely setting up. Yeah, this one right here, New Zealand yen, Kiwi yen, look at that setting up. So we need to get above this area in here, probably right in here to get a buy signal. Okay, so that would be great. I would like to see the dollar pairs push, right? Yeah, probably give us another leg up, right? So we can, get some more profits out of it, close, and then I would like to see the yen pairs move up again. All right, and then if that happens, we need to be all over these yen pairs, absolutely all over them. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good weekend, and I will see you guys on Sunday. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, David.
Thank you.